Guys, welcome back to Plow and Pantry. I have been trying to film this video for days and I keep getting interrupted. So I came out today. It's beautiful weather. I need to plant the tulips before it's too late and thought I would just do this outside because no one will disturb me out here. Fingers crossed. All right. So if you're new here for my seed review, I like to go through things by type, like all the cucumbers, all the tomatoes, stuff like that. Give you my personal opinions. It may not be what would happen to you if you planted them. Tell you, what was new to me, how I liked it, stuff like that. If you like these videos, I will try to link my other seed reviews. I've done them for 3 or 4 years now. I will try to link those for you below. But as I go through them, when I put them down, I will sort them into companies. Kind of distracting out here. I will sort them into companies because at the end of the types of seed review, I like to do like a company review. At this point, I have ordered seeds for years and years, and so I kind of know my favorite companies, but every now and then I try a new one. I also occasionally buy seeds from companies I don't like because they're the only places I could find certain ones. These are my gardening glasses, so they're a little bit dirty. Okay, so starting off here with the herbs. Let's see, here we go. Here are all the herbs. All right, so lemon balm I got from M.I. Gardener. I used to plant this. I love lemon balm, and I haven't in a few years, so I got some last year and planted it. Love it still. M.I. Gardener is one of those companies I do like. They're less expensive. The seed packets are slightly smaller than what you get from other companies, but for most seeds, I don't need giant packets. Certain things I do, tomatoes, I plant a lot of, corn, stuff like that. I want a bigger package, but for most time, I would rather pay a smaller price for less in the packet. But I mean, this has 300 seeds. That's more than enough. I like to plant lemon balm by borders. I mean, I'll plant it anywhere, but I like to plant it by borders of things because if it gets mowed over, it thrives. It grows very easily, but it also smells awesome. Makes the whole air around the house smell great. I've got a couple basils here. I don't know what happened to my packet. I did plant from M.I. Gardener some Genovese basil. I plant that almost every year. It did very well, like it always does. I also tried this Momolo basil from Baker Creek, and it did well too. It's supposed to be a larger leaf. It was slightly larger. It was a slightly larger leaf. It was just as productive as my other basil. I got a ton of basil this year. I got so much pesto and dried basil and freeze-dried basil, and it's awesome. I tried Persian basil this year just for fun. I actually didn't end up tasting this. I dried some of it and put it in my chicken jar. It was pretty on its own, though. It just looks slightly different. And I have some more in here. I will probably plant a few more again next year. I didn't want to use it in cooking because I hadn't spent enough time researching what types of recipes or when to swap it out because it doesn't taste exactly like regular basil. I also planted this one just for flowers, the cardinal basil, also from Baker Creek. It did very well. It blooms in late summer, so you're growing it like all season long to get those blooms, but they were beautiful. They were absolutely beautiful. And they lasted, they stayed blooming really nice for a few weeks, actually. Another herb I planted this year was bergamot. I had not planted this before. It did well. I believe I just sprinkled some seeds in the ground and it grew. I dried this. I never saw the blooms because I kept trimming it and drying it and using the leaves in making herbal oils for salves. But that was a successful one this year. I also planted parsley. I'm not sure where that seed packet went. There's insects around me. And my dog. I'm trying to keep track of him. All right, so then I also planted spearmint and peppermint, and these I just picked up at Lowe's, and they were neither of them were very successful. I want to say that most of them didn't even germinate. I'm not sure what happened there. I have never had mint is very easy to grow. I have never had a problem with that. You might be hearing my dog chew on sticks. So I don't know what happened here. I ended up having to buy the plants and put them in pots. And then I also planted this year cumin, and this was from Beyond Organic Seeds. Okay, so this was another one. I was running out of time and I just sprinkled it in the dirt and it didn't grow, but I had not done any research either, and apparently cumin is difficult to get it to germinate. So there's more in this packet. I'm gonna use it this coming year and try it again, and try to make sure that I'm doing it the way that it needs to be done. Let's see. Basil, mint, cumin, lemon balm. My oregano and thyme were perennial. I didn't plant new ones this year. I just cut off the old plants. And I think that's all for the herbs. It's definitely all the packets I have right now. Cucumbers. Where's my cucumber stop? Okay. So I got this Armenian cucumber. This was a free packet from Jung Seed in another order from a previous year, and I planted these. I used to grow these all the time, and I love them. My kids love them because they grow huge. I like these for like bread and butter pickle slices. I just grew them because they were a free seed, and I was like, sure, I'll plant a few more of those. It's been a while. They did very well. That's an easy cucumber to grow, and if you are, it's technically not in the cucumber family. It's in the squash, which cucumbers are too, but it's slightly different. So sometimes people who can't handle cucumbers, usually there's something in the peel, they can eat these. So you could give those a try if that's a problem you have. Bristol cucumbers I planted. I could only find seeds at Haas this year. I trialed these 2 years ago for the University of Tennessee, and I liked these. And so I grew them again, and they did well again. They do well in East Tennessee, where I have had a little bit more problems with cucumbers than slicing cucumbers than I have at other places. The martini cucumber I got from Territorial. This did well, and it was delicious. I think this is my second year growing these. I like these. They're different. They're smaller and they're yellow, and they have a different taste. They're still a cucumber taste, but it's very different. But they're really good. They're a great snacking cucumber, and I will grow these again. Are you enjoying that stick? Okay, let me talk about these together, even though they're for two different companies. So I have Market More 97 from Territorial and Market More 76 from Southern Seed Exchange. Now, I had planted both of these last year as well, and from different companies. Don't remember which companies, but so here's the thing. Market More 76 has a great reputation. And I planted 97 because usually the bigger number means like more developed, better disease resistance, better productivity, stuff like that. Well, for both last year, the whole reason I planted both of them again this year was to see if last year's results would be the same. The 76 way outperformed the 97. So I'm not going to plant these anymore. And like, I don't think that's a bad seed thing. I think it's that cucumber. I'm going to stick with the 76. It did well. It did pretty darn good. I like the Chelsea's Prize. This is an English style cucumber. I have only been able to find it from Renee's garden. It's a long, skinny, it's really good. It grows well here. I heard about this from Erin at The Impatient Gardener, I think is who turned me onto this. And she's, I believe, in Michigan. So I wasn't sure it would work well here, but it does. It works great. And I like that cucumber. Every year I plant Boston pickling. I have gotten these both from Baker Creek and M.I. Gardener, and they've both been great. These are my standard pickling cucumbers. Almost every year I'll try a different one that someone says is awesome, and I've never liked them as much. And case in point, this year I tried these bush pickle cucumbers from Reimers, which is, spoiler alert, not a company I love. My dog's wandering off. But I want to try them because some people love these, and they did not perform well for me. They took forever, and I mean long time. Cucumbers don't take long to germinate. These took weeks and weeks. I thought they weren't going to germinate, and then suddenly they popped up, but they still grew very slow, didn't produce very much. And it was like end of season. I was pulling stuff out the ground by then, so I won't be planting those again. That is all for the cucumbers. Let's see, I have peppers here. I grew a lot of peppers this year. Make sure I get them all here. I had a second Boston pickling from Vermont. They did okay. Where are my pepper stock and other things? Okay. trying to separate my hot peppers from my sweet peppers here. Okay, so hot peppers. I planted these jigsaw peppers from Baker Creek for the first time this year. I actually grew them just for the foliage. It's so pretty. These are very small plants compared to a regular pepper plant. They are just a few inches tall, but their leaves are beautiful. They were beautiful. I would grow them just for the foliage. The peppers are tiny and very, very, very hot. I will grow them again next year, and I want to try to make a fermented hot sauce with them and just like combine them with other peppers. They're hot though. Craig's Grande jalapeno is the jalapeno I normally grow. It performed the same. They're very prolific plants, and I get a ton of jalapeno. This is a great jalapeno year. Oh my word, so many jalapenos. I also grew La Bamba hybrid jalapenos that I got from Totally Tomatoes, and I was irritated because this packet only has 7 seeds, and they didn't survive. I think I had 1 survive, and it doesn't perform to me the same as Craig's Grande. Plus, Craig's Grande is an heirloom variety. I can save the seeds from that. I also plant jalapenos every year now because these are just as prolific as jalapeno seeds, and they are all of the jalapeno flavor without the heat. So if I want to add more of that pepper flavor but not make it hotter, this works for that. Also, if I make what are they called? Poppers, jalapeno poppers. 2 of my kids prefer them with these where it's not spicy at all. Another hot pepper this year was Sugar Rush Peach. I grew these for the first time last year, and I will probably grow them every year. They're very prolific every year. They are hot. I make a hot sauce with these and orange peach tomatoes and peaches, and it's one of my favorite things on tacos now. In fact, I made some extras and canned it, and I put it in my Christmas baskets that I gave away this year. So these plants get loaded down. They do great. I'm gonna stop and look for my puppy. Anaheim chilies were the last hot pepper I grew. These are barely hot. These are what I use to make green chilies when I can, and also to make like rotel tomatoes on my own when I can. These were also greatly prolific this year. They usually do well, but this was a great pepper year. I have cans and cans and cans of green chilies this year that I might have a couple years worth. Okay, I grew the lunchbox mix, which are mini red, yellow, and orange peppers. They're shaped like a bell pepper, but little. They're not like the skinny snacking peppers that you get like at the grocery store. They're like tiny bell peppers. They do okay, but they produce late and not as well as some of the banana pepper shaped ones. So I prefer to do the other ones. I just wasn't that impressed. I have grown them before, and I'm like, why take up the space with both types if one of them produces for more of the season, so I can just plant more of those. I also find that when I get these mixes, because they're cheaper, I get the mix because I don't need to plant like 10 of each, right? But I find that they will be very heavy on one versus the other for all 3. Like this is supposed to be yellow, orange, and red, and I feel like it was almost all yellow. So I will probably skip those next year and stick to, where are they? Right here. These sweeties, like I got from Territorial, I got yellow, red, and orange. And I will probably just stick to planting those. These are the ones that are more like shaped like a very small banana pepper, like you would find in the store. And they are good, and I enjoy those. And like I said, I think they produce earlier, but just as long. They produce until frost, so I just prefer those. Sweet Sunrise pepper I got from Johnny's. This is a yellow bell pepper. It was okay. I felt like it produced a little bit late too, and not as prolific as I would have liked. It wasn't lame, just I wasn't uber impressed. I don't know if I'll plant more of those or not. There's seeds in here, so I might plant more. California Wonder is my old standby. You can leave these on the, they come in green, you leave them on the plant and they will turn into red peppers. So you don't have to rush to pick them, they will stay good. And I just find that these produce earlier than my other bell peppers. They taste great, they are prolific. it's my go-to bell pepper that I plant every year. Stayed on Select was a new one. I think I tried this like 2 years ago and it wasn't a good pepper year, so I tried it again this year. Again, it was kind of like the Sweet Sunrise, where it was just kind of late. It's a red pepper. It was just kind of late, and so I didn't have as much time to get as much off of it, and it wasn't bad. It has nice thick walls. Its flavor was good. It was just, you get it so late and it's like, well, I really wanted peppers earlier. Okay, this one was new to me this year, the Pippin's Golden from Baker Creek, and this was a really good pepper. Again, though, this is a late one. It came on early, so I thought that I was tasting it. It comes on like green and then gets a purple blush, and it's beautiful. That is not when it's ripe, though. I was pulling them off. I mean, it had a lot. These are very prolific too. It had a lot, and I was pulling them off, some of them, and tasting them. It tastes kind of like a banana pepper, but you leave them on and they turn golden and then to orange, and they have a really good flavor. So even though these took forever to ripen that much, I will plant these again just because the flavor was really good. Sorting my seeds here. Sheep nose pimento, I'm gonna have to try again. This plant was a little bit crowded. It produced some and not much. I do want to grow more of my own pimentos though, so I will try it again because this is supposed to be one of the better pimentos. And I just want to make sure that I'm giving it a fair chance because it was a little bit shaded out this past year. Arroz con pollo. This was a new to me one. And I grew it just for fun because arroz con pollo is rice with chicken, which is a traditional Mexican dish. And being from Southern California, I used to read a book to my kids called Arroz con pollo. And I wanted to try arroz con pollo made with the arroz con pollo peppers. It's a sweet pepper. It's not hot. This was a very prolific plant. Unfortunately, I did not like the flavor. It was a very weird flavor to me, and I won't grow them again just because I thought it was kind of gross. And then I standard grow banana peppers, and I like to pick those in every shade. I leave them on so that I have like the green, the yellow, the orange, the red, and I slice and pickle them, and that's what we use instead of pepperoncinis at our house. They're always, I have not had a company that did not have viable, good, productive banana pepper seeds. So that was a good one. Okay, tomatoes. Where did the tomatoes stop? Okay, right here. All right, so this year from Southern Seed Exchange, I tried the Matt's Wild Cherry. This was new to me. For years and years, I have seen people say that they love this tomato. It's so productive. It tastes so good. I will say it was productive. It germinated well. I was not wowed by the flavor. I will come back to the Sweet 100s in a minute, but I have looked for a replacement for Sweet 100s for several years now. So if you have a suggestion for a red cherry size, like smaller tomato, like nickel size-ish, no bigger than a quarter, that tastes really good, I would love your suggestion in the comments because I have not found a replacement for Sweet 100s. These did grow well. To me, they just didn't have a lot of flavor. They weren't bad. They just weren't impressive to me. But for years, I've heard about how wonderful they are. Orange Peruche is one I grow every year. I fell in love with this like 4 years ago, and now it's a must-have in my garden. It's getting harder to find the seeds. I think they're being phased out. It's a hybrid, not a heirloom. It is an orange cherry tomato, and they are so sweet and delicious. I love these. I'm kind of experimenting myself with them. But that's one I will have every year. Hi, buddy. Don't mess up my piles, please. Okay, Sweet Million. Going back to the Sweet 100s. I love Sweet 100 cherry tomatoes. To me, they produced very well and had great flavor. And they kept trying to improve them over the years. I think it was just a way to make you buy more seeds. They had Sweet Thousands and then Sweet Millions. So this was the first year I broke down and bought the Sweet Millions. I don't like them. I think they taste weird. They do produce a ton of tomatoes, but I was tossing them over to my chickens because I think that they don't taste as good as my Sweet 100s. So again, if you have a replacement for Sweet 100s, they're smaller. They're not like the big cherry. They're smaller red tomatoes, but they're just, I won't plant them again. Yellow pears I plant every year, another heirloom here. They are sweet, delicious. I only plant one of these, one or two, depending on my space, every year because these are the ones that are most prone to cracking. In my area, we get summer storms, and then you'll have cracked tomato skins, which start to rot right away. So I end up feeding like half of them to the chickens. But I still plant them because I love them, and so for a big portion of summer, I can get ones that aren't cracked. But those are a go-to for me. Amish paste is my go-to for every tomato product that I can, whether it's diced tomatoes, ketchup, tomato sauce, marinara. Paste tomatoes are awesome. These get bigger. I think that's why I prefer them over like a San Marzano because they are they're slightly bigger, and so for the same amount of space per plant, I'm getting more tomatoes because they're also very prolific. I've never had a problem growing Amish paste. Momotoro, I grew two packets of the Momotoros. These are a slicing tomato I grow. They are red. They are mid-size, like maybe tennis ball size, between a tennis and a softball, depending on how early in the season. They get a little bit smaller as the season goes on. They're one of my go-tos because I like to plant beefsteaks, but they have the beefsteak flavor, but less of the lobing and less of the splitting, so they're a little better productive, but I still have to plant my beefsteaks too because I love them. Nothing beats a beefsteak to me for that summer tomato flavor, that classic tomato sandwich, vine ripened, whatever. I planted several of these. The MI Gardener and the Baker Creek both did very well. Orange peach planted for the first time 3 years ago. These are the ones that I use with the sugar rush peach peppers for the hot sauce. They're a fun one. They taste good. I'm not a big orange tomato fan, but I grow these specifically for the hot sauce, and I will mix them into salads and snack on them too. But those are a good one. Okay, so this was a new to me one this year, Wood's Famous Brimmer. They were good. They're supposed to be like excellent flavor. That's what I look for with just every vegetable I plant, is I'm looking for the good flavor, because that's what you don't get in the store. Because in the store, they buy varieties from farmers that are made to like ship well or to last long on the shelf. They're not even considering whether you like the flavor. So I bought these because they were supposed to be an awesome flavor. I just felt like they were okay. I probably won't try those again just because I would rather take up my tomato space with something I love, like more beefsteaks or Momotoros or more paste tomatoes. I tried these ones, were new to me again this year. Black Beauties. I'm going to have to try these again because I did not get to taste them. It was not a good tomato year. Our summer storms were like constant, and tomatoes, if they get too much water at one time, they'll split, and as soon as they split, they start going downhill and getting like mealy and rotting. And these were the first to split of the slicers every time, and so all of these got split, and I was never able to taste one when it's ripe. They are beautiful though. This is an unripe tomato, just so you know. It comes on like black and green. It turns red on the bottom when it's ripe, and by the time any of them were ripe, it was too late. They were compromised. Okay, tomato-ish products. So I planted pineapple ground cherries this year from Southern Exposure. These are my favorite ground. If you haven't had ground cherries, they're like little, they look like little tomatillos, tiny little tomatillos. They have that little husk on them. And they're this fun little, they're like a berry, but they have a more tart flavor. But the pineapple ones are a little bit sweeter, and they actually have a little pineapple flavor, and they're a good little snack. I have never done anything with these. I just snack on them while I'm out in the garden, but they do grow. This year they grew very prolific, and I had a lot of those for snacks. And then tomatillos that I grow every year are the Rio Grande. These have just been the ones that worked for me every year. These, along with my tomatoes, did not do as well this year. I think, though, I moved to the spot they were in, and I think that they were a little bit too shaded for part of the day. They like really hot. I'm not supposed to be able to grow them in my zone. I grow them very well here, but they have to be like in direct hot sun all day because it's technically not hot enough here for them. So that was that. Okay, greens. What is that? Okay. I just realized that in here I don't have my corn seeds. I ended up just growing peaches and cream that I got from Haas this year. They did fine. I just planted late, so we didn't eat that many. A lot of it went to the chickens. I don't know what happened to my packets for that. They're not here though. So my greens, I didn't do very many greens. It's rough here. My dog is making a lot of noise. So I grew, the weather going up and down, it makes greens bolt. I grew, hi buddy, hi. Oh, stay over there. Stay over there. I love you. Stay there. Here, you can come right here. All right, you sit right there. You sit right there. You're such a good boy. Yes, you're such a good boy. Okay, I grew scarlet kale. It's one of our favorites. It did fine. It did get hot pretty fast all at once though, and so that bolted, but the small amount we got was good. The Crispino is the only iceberg lettuce I have gotten to grow in my area, an actual like head lettuce. It just doesn't stay a consistent temperature long enough, but if I plant these, I will get 1 or 2 heads, and they're very good too. Very, very good tasting. I like it. And then corn salad does well for me. I've planted this both from Baker Creek and MI Gardner, and it's done well. And it's a nice mild taste. I'm not sure why it's called corn salad, but it's good. It's just a nice mild taste, almost like a very light spinach. I like that one. It's a cut and come again type. Okay, watermelon. I only have 2 packets here, but I know I planted more than that. So I planted it late. I did get enough. It was good, ripe enough for me to give to the chickens. I had good luck with all 3 that I planted. I didn't buy new seeds this year for watermelon. These are all old seeds. I was just trying to use up. So I planted, the packet I don't have is Crimson Sweet. That always does well for me here. So I planted that. I planted Blacktail Mountain that I got from Seeds and Such. Not one of my favorite companies, but it did well. It did very well. I want to say that this was a free packet of seeds I got, but I've planted that before and it does well. And then Cherry Grande from Territorial, that is a big one. I think I planted little ones too. This was half and half, not as well, but it has done better for me before, and it was an older packet of seeds. So if it did well when this packet was new, it's just that they were old seed. I tried the bitter melon from Baker Creek. I've been curious about this for a long time. It did not work out well for me. It seeded very easily, like germinated and looked healthy, but as soon as I set them out, they just withered and died. I might do more research and try again. I'm not sure that I want to do that effort this year though, because I'm concentrating on some other things. Jicama, I put straight in the ground, and I love jicama, and it takes a long time to grow, but it does well. And I have had my best luck with it is direct seeding it, but it did well. Okay, flowers. I planted more flowers than normal this year. My dog loves sticks, and he grabs onto. He's got like a stalk of something with the root ball attached to it right now. You're funny, buddy. Anyways, okay, I have fallen in love with zinnias, and I planted. Let me put all my zinnias together. Okay. I had Sabinary Giant Wine. I don't know where my packet is. That's my favorite go-to pink zinnia that I love, and they did well. Pink Senorita zinnia. This was kind of fun. It's a different shaped petal on it. A little sparser looking though. I just planted it for fun and it was cute. Cherry and Ivory Swizzle and Mazurkia looked very similar to me in real life. It was, I don't know if they're the same thing and one company calls it something else. They both germinated well, they both grew well, and they were pretty. I just felt like it was really hard for me to tell which one was the Cherry and Ivory and which one was Mazurkia, because they were very similar. Calendula, I planted Pink Surprise. This was probably the least, it didn't flower as much as some of my other calendulas. It still got flowers and they were pretty, and I still use them. I used a lot of my calendula this year. I dried and made salve with them. And my favorite calendula is Bronze Beauty. It's kind of pink, not just, it's like a blush-ish color. I plant these every year, the Kilimanjaro White Marigolds. I don't love the regular marigold color, My chickens love to eat these though. That's the only reason I plant them. It's supposed to repel pests. I don't feel like marigolds do that for me as well as everyone says. I also like the strawberry blonde marigold. This is like a blush pinkish yellow as well. So I plant both of those and I feed them to the chickens, and I also dry the petals and put in my little winter jar for the chickens. Also for the chickens, I grow these every year. These are gigantic. The heads are gigantic, so I can plant a smaller row of sunflowers and get a lot of sunflower seeds that last all winter. I've planted these for like 5 years now, and they've always done well. And I just direct sow those. Oh, here's my giant wine zinnia. It's a beautiful pink. I grew some cosmos this year, cups and saucers mix. It's like pinks and whites, and it was really in purples. It was really pretty, and I just kind of let them go wild in some of my boxes. And I just enjoyed just seeing them out there, and the pollinators did love those. I planted 2 nasturtiums. These are both minus, tripolium minus. So these are not the kind that go all over the place. These are both small mounding ones. And I grew them in the boxes closest to my chicken run. And I'd say the Tip Top Mahogany were my favorite just because I like the variety in color. But the Alaska Red Shades were also beautiful. And these both did well. I will probably plant them again near the chicken area again. Just I would trim some off and toss it over, and they like eating those. People eat them too. They're a little peppery for me. Okay, so I planted sugar snap peas that I think I planted my burpee ones. I couldn't find, they were sold out, and so I got them from the store, and these did fine. I got sugar snap peas. I want to say that the germination was lower than I expected, but I still got sugar snap peas, so it wasn't horrible germination. And then, so I had to get the Burde Roquefort. This is my favorite yellow wax bean. I actually like these better than green beans. I think I made a video with roasting these. And last year I couldn't seed save because the weather, they couldn't dry in the vine. So I had to buy more seeds. I have never had a struggle growing these. And they don't need trellising because they're a bush variety. But I love the flavor of these. Just a simple roasted with pancetta. Great. This was the first year. I always grow the Blue Lake bush. I grow Blue Lake green beans. I usually grow pole beans. I like this bean. I might try another one this year. I usually try another one too, but these are always my favorite. But this was the first year I grew bush beans because I was using my trellises for other things, and they were just as good. They were just as prolific, just as delicious. I did have more pest pressure with them, and I think that's because they were lower to the ground, but I got plenty of green beans this year. So, it was still fine. I will grow bush again if I don't have trellis space. Maybe I try to do a little more deterrent of the pests. It was a certain beetle, like a potato beetle or something this year was a real struggle. Okay, so that is all of the ones that I could find. I usually stick all my seeds after I planted something in one space so that I can do the seed review. And this year they were all over and I couldn't figure out why. But to go back over the companies, Territorial here is, let's see, everything. So everything from them did well except for the Cherry Grande watermelon, which is only about 50% germination. But like I said, these were an old seed. And the Market More 97 cucumbers. And I'm pretty sure the last time I planted these, they were a different company. I had the same problem. So I think I don't like Market More 97. But all of the rest of Territorial, it's a company I order from that I trust after all this time. Johnny's, I have ordered more and more from. I think these both did well. The pepper and the lettuce. I decided I don't love this pepper as much as others. The lettuce did really well. I have been ordering a little more and more from Johnny's. They market more towards like market gardeners rather than the home gardener, but I like what they offer. And they have a blend of, they have a blend of heirloom seeds, which I like, but also if you have a certain type of environment with you that makes growing certain things hard and you might want a hybrid, they have those as well. Pine Tree, it looks like everything I got from them except for the banana pepper was a flower, but again, this is a company I have used. It all did well, and I like what they offer too. Did not care for my fairy morse this year. I have planted other fairy morse seeds and they've done fine, but the mints did not do well. The burpee peas did. I don't typically order from the mainstream companies like Burpee and Gurney's and those. Not only do I not like the monopoly they have on the system, but they are, they tend to sell mostly hybrid seeds so that you have to keep buying them. They don't want heirloom seeds out there. Baker Creek, every year they do well. Their seeds are slightly more expensive. They have free shipping though, even if you only order one packet. So, and everything I'm going through right here did well. If they have something that has a low germination rate, it will say when you order, and it will have a tag on it when it comes, and they will overpack the packet for you so that you can overseed. Always liked Baker Creek. I've had great experiences with them, and I'm a sucker for good pictures in the catalog, and they always have them. Okay, I stuck these together even though they're different companies because they're the same company and you can tell their websites are equally irritating to me. And that is like the Totally Tomatoes, Vermont Seed, and Reimer and Seeds and such. I have trouble with the company. I don't like them. I would say half the stuff I get from them has done well. I just don't enjoy shopping I don't enjoy my shopping experience from them. You have to be careful with most of them too. If you're ordering online, they automatically check that box that they can make substitutions if they're out, and I do not like that. I do a lot of research into the varieties I'm ordering, and I don't want some random person changing that for me. This is my first time with Beyond Organic Seeds. This is the cumin. I said I will do more research. That's not on them, at least not yet. M.I. Gardner, every year, is another go-to company for me, and it looks like everything I got from them did well this year. Yeah, every single thing. So they're another go-to company, trustworthy, like them. Renee's Garden, I only ever order this from, but it's still, I mean, it does well every year. Jung Seed is a good one. I don't order a lot from them, but I've had good luck with what I have ordered from them. Haas, I've had good luck with what I've ordered from them. Like I said, they were the ones that I get my corn from too, and some tools from them as well. And their stuff does well usually too. Southern Exposure Seed Exchange is a company where I like the company. They're into keeping the seed supply diversified and accessible and all of that. So I appreciate their mission. I didn't love the Matt's Wild Cherry, but everybody else does. And their seeds do well. So I've not had bad luck with their seeds. And then Adaptive Seeds is very similar to Southern Seed Exchange. They're on a mission for open pollinated organic seed that is available to the general public and not dying out. So these two, though, the Southern Seed and Adaptive Seeds, they are a little more expensive. I don't order a ton from them, but I will look for some. If I can't find them somewhere else, I will look for them. So that is this year's seed supply, a review, I should say, from what did well, what didn't. I'm sure there are a few things missing, so I will do a better job this year of keeping it all together. There was a lot going on this past spring. I will link the reviews from other years I've done down below if you are interested in those. And pretty soon I will have, I mean, it's the end of December, so pretty soon I'm going to have a new seed haul ready to start the new year. Anyways, I hope you guys have a great year. Remember, if there is one of those tomato recommendations to replace the sweet 100 cherry tomato for me, I would love to hear yours. And I will see you guys soon.